Mary, for the uninitiated, is a Sunshine Coast naturopath, over 2 decades of experience helping people, particularly navigating perimenopause, menopause, and, of course, postmenopause as well. Her Facebook page, Hormone Queens, offers connection, community, courses, free resources like the free smoothie recipe that so many say is a game changer. And today we are talking about the importance at this time of the year of putting the pause in menopause. In fact, there's 3 Ps we're going to go through. So let's start with pause, Mary. What do you mean by pause? Like, I get the meaning of the word, as in we take a break, but how and why?
Well, I think this is a beautiful time of life to just sort of stop and slow down and reflect on how you're feeling. What are your physical symptoms? Or do you have any emotional symptoms? And sometimes it's good to sort of take stock of where you're at, because I think that we're so busy leading up to this time. Often we have young kids, we're driving around, we've got careers, we've got so many hats on, that sometimes these things, some symptoms come sneaking in. And then after a while, they might become the new norm, It's just like,
And that's a dangerous thing, isn't it? When I hear people say, I'm, whatever age it is now, 40, 50, 60, 70, now that I'm this age, I just have to put up with it. And that's not always true.
Yeah, because symptoms are our friends, because they just tell so much. Our bodies tell us so much information, and sometimes we're good at listening, and sometimes it's not convenient to know to hear them. It's just like, I'll deal with that later. And that's what the pause is about. It's like, right, okay, let's take stock. I'm not in my 20s. I'm not in my 30s anymore. Let's just have a really good understanding of what's going on. So when I talk about pause in clinic with the ladies, there's a whole list of things, of physical and emotional, that I get them to go through, and they're just either they're ticking away going, I do have that. I've started normalizing that, other than treating it as a red flag.
So what are some of the symptoms that we can potentially reverse? The things that we take for granted, like I just don't have the energy I had in my younger years.
Well, that's a great one to start with, because energy is a big one, and energy is a game changer in life. If we don't have the energy, everything is a bit more overwhelming. So energy is absolutely reversible. That's one of my superpowers, is I can find the energy holes and going, okay, you're losing energy there, your bucket is dripping. But other ones are insomnia, poor sleep, chronic bloating. People go, I just bloat all the time now. It's just me. Headaches, muscle cramps, just moods. Just like I'm now angry, or I'm now sad or upset. Like, these are all signs that things aren't quite right going on. And it's just wonderful you may not know what to do about them. It's not your job to necessarily know what to do about them, but it's your job to sort of be responsible for taking stock and pausing and understanding that these things are not just signs of aging, or these are not my new normal. It's my body trying to send me some messages.
So we're talking 3 Ps. The first of them is pause. The second one is pivot. So what do you mean by pivot?
Pivot means to, what's not working and identifying that, like we did in the pause. But pivot is all about having that, just that know-how to put up your hand. I need some help. That's not right. I think I should get a blood test. I'm going to put up my hand to, see my doctor, see my naturopath.
So I'm going to do something different.
Do something different, because if you keep doing the same thing with the same results, we know how that ends. So it's about being curious about your body and coming from a place of curiosity other than judgment, because judgment's pretty harsh on yourself, right? I think we're harsh enough on ourselves with our self-talk and,
yes,
what's going on. If we come from a place of curiosity, it's just so wonderful. It's like, that's interesting. I'm in a really bad mood today. Wonder what set that off, other than like, here I go again, going off at the kids, just be curious, like, I'm actually bloating. What did I have yesterday that could have caused that? And by pivoting in that way, and putting your hand up for help and reaching out, then all of a sudden you're like taking responsibility and feeling good about these things. Like, all right, I'm getting a blood test. I'm seeing a naturopath. I'm going on a new path. I'm gonna get my energy back. I can feel these slight shifts that are happening. Working alongside someone who has the expertise to guide me out of the things that I've recognized from the pause.
So you can get curious, you can learn, and then you can, you can correct something or heal it or at least improve it potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the time to be proactive. The head in the sand
there's another
stuff
P.
is not working anymore. It's another P. But and then when you can, start, taking a bit of responsibility for that. It doesn't have to be every single symptom overnight, but, just tackle the ones that are priority and just start to get back that little zing that you feel has gone by the wayside.
You're hearing from Mary Martin this morning on ABC Sunshine Coast, our hormone specialist naturopath, and we're talking about the 3 Ps. So putting pause into menopause, that's the first P. And of course, men have a menopause too. We're quieter about it. You don't hear as much about it, but please don't think, this is women's conversation. Obviously, menopause is all about women. However, a lot of this can pertain no matter what gender you are. Pausing to listen to the body, to listen to what yourself is trying to say to you, pivot, taking some action. And I love number 3 when it comes to the 3 Ps, play. You want us to play?
I want people to remember play. That play is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's a form of medicine, right? And I think that if we've lost that cheeky grin or the belly laugh, it's sort of circling back. And I understand that if you're not feeling well, if you're tired and, there's lots of things going on, it's much harder to play. So that's why, hence the pause and the pivot first. But I think looking at, things that reminding ourselves that things that can be joyful, things that maybe you want to start new or come back to, maybe take a painting class, pick up a hula hoop, dance in the kitchen, put your favorite music on, change your vibe, change your energy, take yourself away for a hotel for a night, go on that beach walk. The things that we think, I just don't have the time or it's not a priority.
And so many of them are free. The beach is just there. You've got to get to it, but we've got 50-cent public transport. I know it's a little sparse on the Sunshine Coast, but maybe catch a lift with a friend. But even just a walk around the block, even if you don't have a garden, I bet there's gardens in your neighbourhood that you can, peer over the fence and have a look at. There's ways to have fun, parks, free parks, dog parks even.
Yeah.
Dog parks. Watching dogs play is one of my favourite things. And you can dance in your kitchen. Like if you can't get to a dance class, you can just put some music on and dance in your kitchen.
Yeah. And movement, movement of any kind. Movement makes us feel better in any description. Doesn't have to be a marathon, but just get moving in some way. And connection. Like if you're feeling a bit lonely or a bit isolated, reaching out to people maybe you've lost touch with or someone that or do something that's a hobby that you'll meet someone who are like-minded. But that connection as we get older is so very important. And then we can talk about all the things that are going on and we don't feel as isolated.
I'm going to pause to give you a time call. It is 23 minutes past 8. I'll just check current temperatures as well. Starting to warm up, kind of, sort of, not really, just a touch. Maybe you've got an extra degree. I think we started at just 10 or 11 degrees in Mullaney, now 12. Maroochydore, Caloundra, Gympie, Beerburrum, Woodford. Oh, Gympie, you've had a big jump. You've joined everybody else on 15 degrees. 16 if you're in Nambour, Tinkham Bay or Noosa. We're heading for tops between 18 and 22 today. Might squeeze 23 in Gympie. Tomorrow up to 23 degrees with a couple of showers. So a couple of showers today, a couple of showers tomorrow morning. But not too shabby. It's the middle of winter. It's winter solstice. Lots of people, 350 people already registered for the winter solstice swim. Which is happening tomorrow, just from the Alex Surf Club. So,
is that right? Because I was watching the news this morning in Hobart. Are we taking our clothes off like
no,
the Tasmanians?
Clothes on, please, on the Sunshine Coast. Keep our clothes on here on the coast.
Well, that's no fun. Why can't we do the Tasmanian thing?
Oh dear! And we're still getting calls about fire songs and winter warmers as well on 1300 903 222. Now, while we're talking winter warmers, I'm sitting here. I've got my Hormone Queen smoothie, which is absolutely delicious. But what about for those of us who find it hard to come at. I don't mind a smoothie. Like once I get into it, perhaps I use a little less ice in winter than I would in summer.
Yeah.
But for those who want to get all those nutritions into us but want a warm winter brekkie, how do we go about that?
Ooh, I have 5 amazing recipes because sometimes smoothies go by the wayside in the cooler months, but we really want to keep those nutrients up. We want to keep the chia, the flaxseed, the maca, our calcium powder, our greens powder. We want to keep that up even in the cooler months. So there are like winter warmer recipes. You can put those things into oats or into quinoa or into triticale, depending on if you're gluten free or if you're going for the oats. And there's can be beautiful recipes like cinnamon and honey and seeds and date and walnut poached pear, which is my favorite, spiced poached pear. And really what you're doing is you're making up the oats as you usually would, your porridge. Mm-hmm. And at the end, not while it's cooking, but at the end, put your nutrients through it. You can just
stir them through because you don't want to overcook them and kill some of them, do you?
Yeah, but, some of them are fine getting warm, no problem. But I think they don't coagulate as well. Once in the cooking process. So once they're cooked, you have them all to the side, and maybe you can you have your raspberries or your cranberries in the oats, but at the very end, just put your Hormone Queen's non-essential essential nutrients in and mix them all through, and you won't even know the difference. It's delicious.
You'll feel different.
Yeah.
But they won't mess with your taste buds. Thank you so much, Mary Martin. It's always good to have you in the studio, to have you here in person. And I just want to say, for those who are a little bit worried that, perhaps they can't afford to see a naturopath, you do offer a free consult, like an initial chat to get the party started for people.
Yeah, 20 minutes. It's called a clarity call, and it's just you sitting down with someone and just saying, "Hey, what's happening for you? Here's how I can help."
Mm-hmm. How do we get in touch with you?
HormoneQueens.com. You can go directly to free clarity call and go to my appointment system, and I'll see you on the other side.